It is the first day of February 2017. The NBA season rolls right along here at BetSafe. I'll be involved in 3 games tonight. Why don't we go ahead and get right to them, see if we can't make a little bit of money. Let's start in Miami where the Atlanta Hawks come to town to face the Heat. Atlanta a 2-point favorite at BetSafe, 203 the total in this game. What has happened to the Miami Heat? Break up the Heat, a team that looked like one of the worst teams in the NBA throughout the first couple of months of the season is now red hot. The Heat have won 8 straight games. Now, they've always been good defensively. I mean, they've got a couple of good perimeter defenders. They've got a good shot blocker in Hassan Whiteside, top 10 in the league in terms of both points allowed and opponents' field goal percentage. But they've started winning games here since they've come alive on the offensive end. The Heat have scored 100 points or more in 8 of their past 9 games, and they scored 99 in the one where they didn't reach 100. And as we mentioned, 8 straight wins now. Well, they're hosting a Hawks team tonight. I almost said a Falcons team because we're thinking Atlanta and the Super Bowl a couple days away, of course. They're hosting a Hawks team tonight that has been struggling on the defensive end lately. The Hawks have surrendered 112 points or more in 4 straight games. So you would think that Miami would be able to keep their offensive roll rolling here tonight. Now, the Hawks did beat the New York Knicks in 4 overtimes on Sunday, but they haven't been playing great basketball over the past couple of weeks, certainly not as hot as the Heat. However, we see the Hawks a 2-point favorite here. They still have a much better record than Miami, still regarded as a better team. When it comes down to, people still don't believe in the Miami Heat. But I tell you what, I am starting to believe after what we've seen over these past couple of weeks. And Tyler Johnson, a key reserve for them, a guy who's averaged 14 points a game. He returned to the lineup on Monday in the win over Brooklyn. He had missed the past few games, so, I mean, he's been important. He and James Johnson have really been important off the bench for the Heat all season. Look, I think the Heat better than the Atlanta Hawks right now. I think they're playing better basketball. I think they keep it rolling tonight, pick up a home win. I like Miami +2 there. Moving on now to Dallas, where the Mavericks host the Philadelphia 76ers. Dallas, a 6.5-point favorite at BetSafe. 202.5 the total here. We talked about how the Heat have turned it around. Both these teams, the Sixers and the Mavericks, have turned it around. The Sixers, 11-4 since December 30th. They've been a fun team to watch. However, they've cooled a little bit. They have lost 2 of their past 3 games, and Joel Embiid, their best player, did not make the trip to Dallas. He will be out tonight, still resting that bone bruise in his knee. That's too bad for the Sixers because having Embiid in this game would have been big. You know, the Mavericks have been going really small. They've been starting a small lineup these last few weeks since Andrew Bogut has been in and out of the lineup with injuries. A lot of times, Dirk Nowitzki is their nominal center. I mean, the only front court players they have on the floor a lot of times are Harrison Barnes and Dirk Nowitzki. So if Embiid had been able to play here, he would have really been able to do some damage against this Mavericks team. But as we said, he will miss the game. Philly lost 2 of their last 3 facing a Dallas team that has won 4 of 5. The Mavericks with back-to-back wins over the San Antonio Spurs and Cleveland Cavaliers. So you know they're feeling good about themselves right now. They're a good defensive team. 4th in the NBA in points allowed. The Sixers, meanwhile, not a good defensive team. Bottom half of the league in points allowed and opponents' field goal percentage. They have allowed 109 points or more in 6 straight games. And while the Mavericks are not great offensively, they do have Dirk Nowitzki back in the lineup now. He, remember, missed a few weeks there with a variety of injuries, but he has been back now for a couple of weeks. And over the last couple of games, the Mavericks have been better offensively. It's been very interesting. You know, Rick Carlisle's a good coach, not afraid to try some different things. Definitely an outside-the-box type guy, especially when you talk about on the offensive end, his offensive sets. And over the weekend, the Mavericks signed an undrafted rookie point guard who played collegiately at Indiana, Yogi Ferrell. You might remember him, a great college player, but was undrafted. He's an undersized guy. Well, the Mavs signed him to a 10-day contract over the weekend. He started the last 2 games, averaging 14 points, 5 assists, 3 steals, really giving them a nice little spark. You like what the Mavericks are doing right now. Look, if Joel Embiid was playing in this game, I think the Sixers might be able to give them a good run. But without Embiid, with the Sixers playing some shoddy defense here over the past week or so, like I said, 109 points or more allowed in 6 straight games. So that's a couple of weeks the Sixers have not been defending. I think the Mavericks pick up a win tonight, and I think they win big. I like Dallas as a 6.5-point home favorite over Philadelphia. Moving on now, final game I'm involved in on this, Wednesday, I believe, February the 1st. What about the Utah Jazz, an 8-point home favorite over the Milwaukee Bucks? The Bucks have really been struggling lately. They have lost 8 of their past 9 games. 6 of those losses have been by 9 points or more, so they've been blown out regularly. And they've really been having problems on the offensive end. They've had problems putting the ball into the basket. They failed to reach 100 points 5 times in their last 9 games. We mentioned they've lost 8 or 9. And when you've been having trouble to score, when you've been having trouble scoring, the last thing you want to do is go on the road to face this Utah Jazz team. The Jazz, so good defensively. Number 1 in the NBA in points allowed. They only surrender 95.5 points per game. They're even better at home. In 26 home games this season, the Jazz just surrendering 93.5 points per game. They're second in the league in opponents' field goal percentage. Derek Favors, a key piece in the front court for them. Great defensive big man. He will be back tonight after missing Utah's last game against Memphis. Now, the Jazz have lost 3 of their past 4, but prior to that, they won 6 straight. So I don't think it's too much of a concern. A great home team, of course, one of the better home teams in the NBA, and Milwaukee has really had problems on the road this season, just 8-14 away from home. As we mentioned, the Bucks not playing good basketball right now. I do not think they have much of a chance in Utah tonight. I like the Jazz -8 there. There you have it, folks. Those are my thoughts on this Wednesday, February the 1st. I like the Miami Heat as a 2-point home underdog against the Atlanta Hawks. I like Dallas -6.5 against Philadelphia. And I like the Utah Jazz -8 at home against the Milwaukee Bucks. I wish you best luck, whatever you decide to do tonight, just so long as your interests don't conflict with my interest. Enjoy the games, folks.